What do you do when the person in power is evil? What do you do when authority is corrupt? What do you do when justice is delayed so long it feels like it's never coming? If you're living under an oppressive government, a tyrannical boss, or any system where the powerful abuse the powerless, Ecclesiastes 8 was written for you. Solomon's about to give you survival wisdom for living under authority you can't escape. And some of what he says is going to make you really uncomfortable. But if you're actually facing persecution, you need to hear this. Let's go. Ecclesiastes 8:2-4. I say, keep the king's command, for you have made an oath before God. Do not be in a hurry to leave his presence, and do not persist in a bad cause. For he will do whatever he pleases, for the king's word is supreme. And who can say to him, what are you doing? Keep the king's command. Obey authority. Even when that authority is unjust? Yes. Even when the king is corrupt? Yes. Why? For you have made an oath before God. You're not just submitting to the king. You're honoring your oath to God to respect authority. Now, before you accuse Solomon of being a bootlicker for tyrants, keep reading. He's not saying the king is right. He's saying the king has power. The king's word is supreme, and who can say to him, what are you doing? You can't confront absolute power and survive. The king will crush you. So wisdom says, pick your battles. Verse 5-6, whoever keeps his command will come to no harm. And a wise heart knows the right time and procedure, for there is a right time and procedure to every purpose. Though a man's misery weighs heavily upon him, there's a right time and right procedure for everything, including resistance. The wise person knows when to speak and when to stay silent, when to act and when to wait, when to obey and when to disobey. Blanket statements like, always resist authority, or always submit to authority, are both foolish. Wisdom knows the nuance. Look at Daniel. He obeyed the pagan king in almost everything, except when it directly contradicted God's law. He served in Nebuchadnezzar's court. He advised evil kings, but when the law said, worship the statue, he refused. When the law said don't pray, he prayed anyway. Daniel knew when to submit and when to resist. That's what Solomon's teaching here. You're living under oppression? Fine. Obey where you can, survive where you must, but know the line you won't cross. Know the issue you'll die on. And for everything else, a wise heart knows the right time and procedure. Now here's where Solomon addresses the elephant in the room. Verse 11. When the sentence for a crime is not quickly executed, the hearts of men become fully set on doing evil. Delayed justice emboldens evil. When corrupt people get away with corruption, they do more corruption. When the powerful abuse the powerless without consequence, they increase the abuse. When justice is slow, wickedness accelerates. You've seen this, haven't you? The dictator gets away with murder, so he commits more murders. The corrupt official steals and gets promoted, so corruption becomes the system. And you're sitting there thinking, God, where are you? How long are you going to let this continue? Justice delayed is justice denied. Solomon feels that. He sees that, and he's about to tell you something crucial. Verses 12-13. Although a sinner does evil 100 times and still lives long, yet I surely know that it will be well with those who fear God, who are reverent in his presence. But it will not be well with the wicked man, nor will his days be lengthened like a shadow, because he does not stand in fear of God. Even though the wicked person gets away with evil for a long time, 100 times, Solomon knows it won't end well for them. Justice may be delayed, but it's not absent. The wicked may prosper now, but they won't prosper forever. And those who fear God, those who stay faithful despite injustice, it will be well with them. But then, and this is where Solomon's honesty cuts deep, Verse 14. There is a futility that is done on the earth. There are righteous men who get what the actions of the wicked deserve. And there are wicked men who get what the actions of the righteous deserve. I say that this too is futile. Sometimes good people suffer like they're wicked. Sometimes wicked people prosper like they're righteous. It's backwards. It's wrong. It's futile. And Solomon's not going to pretend otherwise. He's not going to give you some shallow, everything happens for a reason theology. He's saying, yeah, life under the sun is messed up. Justice is inverted. The righteous suffer. The wicked prosper. It's absurd. So what do? Verse 15. So I commended the enjoyment of life, because there is nothing better for a man under the sun than to eat and drink and be merry. For this will remain with him in his labor during the days of his life that God gives him under the sun. Wait. In the middle of talking about injustice and oppression, Solomon says, enjoy your food? Yes, because if you let the injustice steal your joy, the tyrant wins twice. He oppresses you, and he makes you miserable. Don't give him both victories. Find joy where you can. Eat your meals with gratitude. Enjoy what God has given you despite the circumstances. This isn't toxic positivity. This is defiant joy. This is refusing to let evil steal everything from you. They can take your freedom, but they can't take your ability to be grateful for bread. Here's what you need to understand if you're under oppression. God sees. Justice is coming. It may not be quick, but it's certain. And in the meantime, wisdom navigates the system without compromising core convictions. Daniel served evil kings without becoming evil. Esther married a pagan tyrant and saved her people. Joseph worked for Pharaoh and preserved nations. They all knew how to operate within corrupt systems without being corrupted themselves. Here's what you can do this week. If you're under unjust authority, ask yourself, what am I willing to die for? What's the line I won't cross? Everything else is negotiable. But know your non-negotiables. Because wisdom isn't blind resistance, it's strategic faithfulness. And if you're watching justice be delayed, day after day, year after year, remember Solomon's words. I surely know that it will be well with those who fear God. Your faithfulness in the darkness isn't wasted. The wicked may prosper now, but their shadow is shortening. Hold on. That's the hard wisdom of Ecclesiastes 8. Life under tyranny requires both submission and defiance, both patience and courage, both wisdom and conviction. It's complicated, it's nuanced, and it's exactly what believers under pressure need to hear. Subscribe, because Solomon's about to tackle death next. And what he says about mortality will challenge everything prosperity preachers tell you. Thanks for watching.